god, where the fuck is Vic? Where's Vic gone? Yo, Vic? Yo, where's Vic, bro? What the fuck happened to Vic? Bro, where is he, bro? Hi, yo, what's good? It's Vic. I saw this meme, right? This meme.
If you're a young boy and you're in a situation where you're an F student, let me tell you something. You got a bright future, buddy. You see, an A student is the perfect employee. He works for me and he does his job perfectly. A B student, that's my manager. The C students, those are business owners. Then you got the D. D is between a business owner and an inventor. It's someone that owns a business but truly wants to invent something, he just doesn't know how to do it. And then you got the F students. The F students are inventors. They're so fucking creative that they couldn't sit in class because whatever people were trying to put in their head, they knew it was fucking bullshit.
You know exactly which one I'm on about, and I want to talk about it. This video is inspired by this meme. Why? Because I really fucking love this topic, okay? I love any topic that has anything to do with sort of what we all grew up with in the same sense, because everyone can agree to this and everyone knows this is true. And I want to talk about something positive and something that actually makes me smile, and probably is going to make you smile if you agree with this. And it is the F students topic.
If you're a young boy and you're in a situation where you're an F student, let me tell you something. You got a bright future, buddy. You see, an A student is the perfect employee. He works for me and he does his job perfectly. A B student, that's my manager. The C students, those are business owners. Then you got the D. D is between a business owner and an inventor. It's someone that owns a business but truly wants to invent something, he just doesn't know how to do it. And then you got the F students. The F students are inventors. They're so fucking creative that they couldn't sit in class because whatever people were trying to put in their head, they knew it was fucking bullshit. If you're a young boy and you're in a situation where you're an F student, let me tell you something. You got a bright future, buddy. You see, an A student is the perfect employee. He works for me and he does his job perfectly. A B student, that's my manager. The C students, those are business owners. Then you got the D. D is between a business owner and an inventor. It's someone that owns a business but truly wants to invent something, he just doesn't know how to do it. And then you got the F students. The F students are inventors.
The F students. Everybody knows them. You probably had a couple in your class if you went to a public school like I did. Probably even some in private schools, because there's always that one person. Even if it's one of the fucking funniest dudes that you've ever known in your life, there's always that one person, all right? And so this is what I mean when I talk about this, because I had a lot of these in my school. I went to a public school, and I don't regret it, right? My parents were immigrants. My parents are immigrants, and we came to this country not really expecting much. We kind of expected a little bit more decency from British people, but the more you come here, the more you realize that doesn't really exist anymore. Okay, I had to switch shirts because it's so fucking hot right now. And it's not even that hot, but it's just fucking, what is it? 21 fucking degrees. You really think I can fucking handle that shit? No. I love the F students, man. I had a couple of F students when I was growing up, in my class, and they kept me going through secondary, man. Secondary was hell for me because every part of it was terrible. Well, it wasn't so terrible, right? I don't want to say it was terrible. It was just fucking, like, not what I expected. Because when you go from, like, primary, what everybody knows what primary is. You go from that to secondary, and all of a sudden, kids start acting gangster. Everyone's trapping. Everyone wants to be a rapper. Kids are having kids. The fuck? Fucking, you know, all this shit that you see all the time happen, like, everywhere. Everywhere you go, you know. Girls go from nice human beings and individuals to one of the three. And I feel like boys and us guys, as soon as we get to our teenage years, we have to pick this angle as well. I don't blame girls for doing the shit that they do, because we guys do the exact same shit, if not worse. So what do I mean by this? I mean that you have the class of students from A to F, or in our cases it was 9 to 1, right? I don't know if they've changed it now. I don't really keep up with school stuff. I'm not that interested. It was really funny to see the guys at the top versus the guys at the bottom and how they are. I was in the middle. I sort of got 4s and 3s to 5s, right? I got something in the middle, and I was happy with it. I still am. I don't really care about grades, because I knew when I was doing my GCSEs, I knew that it was all bullshit. And it's fun, right? It sounds funny because that's exactly what the video says. That's exactly what that dude says. But literally, I knew it was bullshit. And I'll talk more about this in a sec, but I want to go through each individual grades and then just discuss how they sort of work. So you have the beginning grades, right? You have 1 to, I'd say sort of about 4 or 5. These are my guys. I grew up with these guys. I know these guys personally. I love these guys. And they kept me going because they were so fucking funny. They were so interesting to talk to. They always had something on their minds. They always knew how to make me smile. And I love these dudes, man. And unfortunately, I don't know if I ever got along with all the high grade students, because the problem with them is when you go from like that barrier, I guess, because what we had was you can only go if you were in bottom set or in middle set. We had bottom set, middle set, and then top set. Top set could get from 1 to 9, all the grades, and then anyone in middle set or bottom set could only get from 1 to 5. So 5 was the highest grade I could get, right? And if I got that, whoa, that's fucking crazy. I only got 1, so that's great. But the thing is, it was still funny because the guys at top set were always dickheads. They were always entitled. They always thought they were going to be better than you. Some of them thought they were going to be your managers one day. Some of them were saying shit like, oh, bro, I'm going to own you, bro. It's like, let me tell you something. I saw this guy, right? The brightest kid in the entire year, okay? He was the kid you would come to if you needed help. And he wouldn't give it to you because he thought he was so fucking smart, bro. Guess what happens? I saw that kid, I think a year ago. I saw that kid working in Tesco on the till. And he had the biggest grades in the entire fucking school. He had the best grades. Everyone wanted his grades. All the girls were jealous. They were all like, how the fuck does this happen? Right? Because girls really care about this shit for some reason. And yeah, he works in Tesco, or I don't know where he is now. I haven't seen him since, right? But yeah, so much for high grades, buddy. And he was supposedly going to sixth form. He was supposed to go to this high class uni and shit. And this shit never happened. And he worked in Tesco, and I actually saw him, and I was like, I know you. And he's like, yeah, hi Vic, what's up? I'm like, I'm not even, you know what? I was gonna go somewhere with it. I was gonna tell him like, yeah, you remember that? Yeah. But I was like, you know what? He's already suffering enough, bro. He already has to work from fucking 9 till 5 on a fucking till, interacting with people that he doesn't like. You really think his life fucking needs to get any worse? No, bro. I said to myself, why do I need to do this to this kid? So I just left it, right? But the funniest thing is that that's exactly what happened. And funnily enough, at this exact same Tesco, I had another kid that went to school with me. And he was sort of the dropout kid that kind of went all over the place. Then he kind of joined college. Then he kind of dropped out of college. It was all during COVID, so it was all over the place. And he ended up working in a better sector of Tesco, which is Tesco Mobile, than the kid on Tills. And he looked way happier than the kid on Tills, right? This is my point. I just wanna let you know that video, as funny as it is, and as much as people want to think that grades matter, I'm just gonna tell you straight up, they really fucking don't. Okay? It's not about the grades that you get. The grades that you get can prove the fact that you can read a book, remember something in that book, and then write that shit down. If you understand the theory, you can probably write that shit down easily. I can talk about a trillion different things because I've discussed them with myself and my friends for the last fucking 5, 10, 20 fucking years of my life. And I could talk about them easily. And does that make me smart or smarter than anyone else? No, it just means that I'm better versed in this subject than the other person. And that's fine. For example, I never liked maths. I didn't like maths. I still got a pass in maths, but I didn't like maths. And I didn't want to do my maths homework or the subjects at home or all this fucking revision. And I was like, oh, I just don't want to deal with that shit. And then the kids that did it, those exact, like, the same friend group that were very, very good at maths, they got all, like, the highest grades, right? They were telling me about how they were going to go sixth form and, you know, they're gonna go uni because they need all these points to go uni to do the subject that they want to get done. And then once they get those done, they'll get a good job and it will be great. And I was like, this is a great plan. But what happens when this doesn't work out the way that you intended it to? What happens, for an example, when one day I'm just saying, I don't want to, I don't want to say what is and what isn't, but I'm just saying, what happens one day when I'm around, I'm driving in my car, and I see you catching the bus? What happens then? I'm just saying. I don't want to, like, I don't want to say nothing, but I'm just saying. And listen, there's nothing wrong with having a service job. There's nothing wrong with having an entry job. I started with McDonald's, okay? I know what it's like, okay? If I was gonna fucking start with anything, I'd start with Tesco, McDonald's, all this shit as well. I know what it's like. But the problem with these kids, these top set kids, these higher grade kids, is that they don't understand that this is not how it works anymore. Okay, out in the wild, out in the fields, it doesn't work by grades. Ain't nobody asked me fucking shit for my grades ever when I applied for a job. In no section of life has ever anyone asked me for my fucking grades. Ever. Not even in education. You would imagine if at least in education they would ask you. I applied for an education job and I got denied, right? But at no point did they ask me for my grades. At no point. I went through the entire interview process. Everything was fine. There was a couple more of us, and that was it. The only reason they denied me was because of my inexperience in the education sector, which is fine. I don't have experience in the education sector. But I was like, that's fine. But never did anyone ask me for fucking grades. Or what grades I got in secondary or college, or where I studied, or why, or how. No one cares, bro. You know what people care about out in the field? I'll tell you what people care about. People care about experience, logical thinking, actually showing up to work. That's, usually extremely important, right? And usually, just being a good dude, just being a good person, just coming up being like, yo, what's good? You alright? How you doing? Yeah, blah, blah, blah. The typical talk that no one gives a fuck about because British people have normalized it so much that it's so fucking weird. The point is that I've seen this happen so often, and I think it's super fucking funny whenever this shit happens, man. I think it's super funny when I see kids that I grew up with, and they were talking all this smack, bro. They were talking all this shit about how they were gonna be that guy, bro. They're gonna be the guy with the big fucking car, bro, with the fast car, man. They're gonna be the guy that owns 3 businesses, bro. They're gonna have shit. They're gonna have everything, right? And you see them. They grow up, and they sitting on the sill. What can I get for you? You alright? And it's like, bro, what the fuck, man? What happened, little bro? Where did you go? What went wrong? What happened? So, I'm just saying, I think it's kind of funny, man. Oh boy. The thing is, I don't blame them, right? As I said, everyone needs to start somewhere. And I knew some kids that started off in different places, there was sections, when we were applying for work experience, there were sections where you could go up from low tier jobs to high tier jobs. Everyone wanted to go into banks. I did as well, I'll admit it. Never got into it because they just didn't accept me. It wasn't anything to do with grades. It was the fact that I just fuck is someone gonna accept a random school kid to go into a banking job? No one's gonna accept that shit. Get the fuck out of here, man. The only way that's gonna happen is if you have a connection of your dad probably having some friends in high places who's gonna be like, yo, can my son have a fucking apprenticeship job? Just get him in there, bro. Make him do some coffee or some shit. I don't know. And this is what I thought was going to happen, but realistically, what I ended up getting was some coffee place job, and it was fine. It still kept me up, to be fair, cash in hand. It was fucking hilarious. But what it taught me, right, and what I learned from this, is the fact that the only thing that actually matters when you're out here, when you're making money, when you're actually taking care of yourself, when you're living your life, is just how well you can manage to survive. Now, I am not a big fan of late-stage capitalism. I think it's ruining fucking everyone's lives, and everyone can fucking see it. Anyone that agrees with this shit is a fucking idiot. How can you agree with something that's literally ruining your life as well? You're dumb. But the point is, I've managed to stay alive with these fucking hands and with this fucking brain. Now, what would you do if you didn't have hands? That's crazy, bro. I'd die. But I haven't, right? So, clearly I've done something right. I've been in positions where I did end up homeless. I've been in positions where I had a shit ton of money. I had so much money where I didn't even know what the fuck to do with it. I spent it all. I've gambled a shit ton of money away. I've done so much dumb shit in my life, and I love it. I think that's the fun part that I want. This is why I stayed alive. At one point in my life, I was very, very on the low. I've talked about this in my first video. I was extremely on the low. I felt really bad about everything. And then something in my mind when I was going through a lot of like, you know, terrible thoughts that I can't say on YouTube, something in my mind clicked that made me realize, you know what actually matters in life? Having fun. Go out there, do crazy shit, have fun, and love life. And ever since that day, I've been doing exactly that, okay? And this is my point with the F students. That's exactly what they're doing right now, okay? I see these kids, man. You know what some of these kids are doing? Man, I know this dude. Bro, he makes music now. And I know what you're gonna say, right? SoundCloud rapper, fucking coming up from the trenches, all that shit. Yeah. We've heard it all before. We've seen it all before. But man, some of these dudes really have some talent. When we were growing up, everyone wanted to be famous. You know, we all wanted to be YouTubers and rappers and all this shit, blah, blah, blah. We all know that shit. We all know how it goes. But realistically, some of these kids, not everyone, but some of these kids are really, really talented. Okay? And I'm really fucking impressed with some of them. I'm just gonna say it. Okay? I heard some of this shit, and I think it's fucking amazing. I like the fact that I'm seeing a lot more of this happen, and that people are recognizing this, because this is something that also leads into like the whole Andrew Tate era. When Andrew Tate was discussing like what you should do as a man, when people were discussing this shit, he was usually saying shit like, oh, you need to make a shit ton of money because life is going to go to shit and you're not going to be able to make any more money with a standard job. You can't be an average guy. That's fucking great and all, but that's not how it works, because you want to go, let's say you want to go on Shopify, you want to be a freelancer. You want to do dropshipping, right? And you're not the only one that's thought of that so far. You know that, right? There's like 100,000 million more fucking people out there that have exactly done the exact same shit that you're doing right now. You realize that, right? But what do you think's gonna happen when you try that? You go into the field of sharks as a little fish. You're gonna be swallowed, bro. You're gonna be eaten. So these F students recognize this. And the F students are the ones that are making the funniest, most entertaining, most amazing shit now. Even if some of them have completely failed in life, they still keep going. Why? Because they've recognized this shit that I'm talking about. In life, you gotta have fun, and you gotta just keep on trying different things out. Try everything. Bro, if that shit doesn't work, go be a stripper, bro. You never know, right? You never know. Maybe it works out. As a male stripper, you make a shit ton of money. You never know, bro. I'm just saying, some of these grannies want to see some fit dude, bro. Hey. So, this is my point. I love the F students. And I want to just say, the guys, like, if anyone from my past watches this and they recognize me, listen, bro, if you were the guy that was in my class, if you were the guys that were in my class, and we were laughing our asses off at the dumbest shit when the teacher was telling us shit, bro, I love you, bro. Thank you for just keeping me through life. Thank you for making those fucking 4 years of my life actually normal, even after all the shit that I went through. Thank you, bro. And I hope I hope someone else sees this as well, right? Because these are the kids that make me fucking just realize that life is exactly how it is. And I'm not the only one that's going through it, clearly. Everyone's seeing these kids all around the place. Even if they're causing damage to the places, even if they're doing dumb shit, even if they're on video, you see them doing the fucking most retarded shit ever. It's so fucking funny, because you're gonna be talking about that for the rest of your life. And that is what I love about those kids, man. That is what I love about the guys that I grew up with. And now I see them, and they're still doing the exact same shit. And I am as well, man. I'm probably fucking responsible for some of this shit as well. Hey, hands up. I did it as well. I'm just saying. We were fucking high as shit at some point. We were doing the dumbest shit at some point. And we're not gonna stop. Okay? For the rest of our lives, we're gonna still be doing the exact same shit. I'm glad to see that other kids are seeing this shit as well. And I'm glad to see that from now on, nothing's really gonna change in the next 40, 50 years with this shit. Everything's gonna be the same, even when I'm an older. Everything's gonna be the exact same. And I think that's the funniest thing I think that's the greatest thing and the funniest thing about life, man. So yeah, thank you for listening to me ramble on about how the past was okay, moderately to some extent. And if you have any experiences with the F students and you want to share them with me, I am all ears, okay? I want to listen to all these stories. I love hearing this shit. I love seeing the videos, man. I love seeing all this shit. You keep doing what you're doing, man. And recognize that in life, you gotta enjoy yourself, bro. You have one life to go. So make it worthwhile, alright? Make it worthwhile. Have fun. Go crazy. And just enjoy yourself, bro. Have a good one. Take care of yourselves and peace. You ready for this? I know how to throat sing. Watch. Wait. Ah!